Thank you for purchasing the world's leading biodiesel processor. When your FuelPod 2 is delivered, you will have everything you need to turn waste vegetable oil into the highest quality biodiesel. To ensure that nothing is lost or damaged in transit, all accessories and safety equipment is contained within the unit. Also included within the unit are detailed instructions which explain both assembly and operation in simple terms. Before you know it, you'll be making your own premium biodiesel and saving money at the same time. Please ensure that before you start using your FuelPod, you have read and understood the manual fully. Firstly, put the heater onto the base of the FuelPod as is shown. Now, using the correct safety equipment, insert the funnel and fill the oil sump with vegetable oil, ensuring that no water or sludge oils are used. Turn on the heater and set it to warm the oil to 60 degrees C on the thermostat, and leave it for 2 to 3 hours for FuelPod 2 and 4 to 5 hours for FuelPod 3. Then connect the air hose to the unit. Turn off or disconnect the heater, set the left valve to recirculation, to the centre valve to fast recirculation and the right valve to oil fill. Then turn the timer to 2 and rotate the stop button to release and start the pump. Push the stop button once the batch size arrow has been reached in the process tank at the top of the unit. Now you should perform a titration test on an oil sample in order to determine how much catalyst is necessary. In order to do this, place a clean glass tumbler on each of the circles on your oil titration instruction sheet. Now squirt methanol into the left-hand glass to about 5 mm deep, and squirt the titrant solution into the right-hand glass to also about 5 mm deep. Now, using a clean eyedropper, place 10 mm of methanol into the center cup. Now, using another clean eyedropper, place 1 mm of oil into the center cup. Add 3 drops of pH indicator into the center cup and mix it thoroughly using a squirting action with the eyedropper. It should appear a yellow or orange color. Using the wheel on the pipette handle, draw titrant into the pipette up to exactly 0. And now, slowly drip titrant into the center cup using the wheel while continuing to mix the eyedropper. Stop adding titrant when a stable blue-green color is achieved for about 15 to 20 seconds. Now, read the pipette to see how much titrant you have added. This is your titration result. Turn over the oil titration instructions card to use the titration result to determine how much catalyst is needed. Once the titration test has been completed, measure out the catalyst using the results from the titration test into the premix container. Then, pump methanol into the premix container until it reaches the yellow fill arrow. You should then screw the lid onto the premix container and connect the container to the fuel pod using the clip-on fittings. Now, set the timer to 1 hour for the FuelPod 2 and 2 hours for the FuelPod 3, and after making sure that the left valve is set to recirculation, the middle valve is set to fast recirculation, and the right valve is set to processing, release the stop button to start the pump. Once the pump has stopped, remove the lid of the tank in order to evaporate the 3-methanol left in the tank. When the separated glycerin is visible in the drain side tube, drain it slowly until the liquid leaving the unit becomes lighter in colour. Repeat draining until the level in the tank returns back to the batch size level. Once the glycerin has stopped forming in the tube, turn the left valve to recirculation, the centre valve to purification, and the right valve to processing. Then set the timer to 5 hours and release the stop button to start the pump. Finally, once the purification process is complete, turn the left valve to fuel out, the centre valve to fast recirculation, and the right valve to processing. Rotate the timer and release the stop button to start the pump. Then squeeze the trigger to dispense the fuel.